Superman is just the gift that keeps on giving. Honestly, I think that James Gunn is a horrible director, and I've said this already from the beginning. I don't understand why they picked him specifically, but it's going to be very interesting to see how the internet turns against this director. And the crazy part about that is that the movie isn't even out.
We have to talk about these Superman leaks because it looks like they might be true. Superman plot leak. James Gunn makes online trolls Superman's new kryptonite. A bizarre and rumored plot for James Gunn Superman has surfaced online, which claims the Man of Steel gets dragged into the world of cancel culture. In the leak, it's claimed that James Gunn sets up Superman to be battered by social media hate, which apparently makes the Man of Steel feel sad. No, we're not joking. It's further claimed that James Gunn uses hashtag #supershit in the movie, which trends and damages Superman's image. But the real twist? Lex Luthor is behind it all, using an army of mutant monkeys at keyboards to flood and troll the internet and tear Superman down.
I'm starting to think that Warner Brothers is just mocking the character at this point. Leave it in the comment section. Is it just me? Because I've been saying this for a long time, that I think that they just want to tarnish the character. That's what I think at this point. Because there's no way that they can be so ignorant. They're watching the dailies every day. You're telling me there are 50 people watching the dailies, monitoring this, and nobody is saying that, no, this is stupid. No one is pointing that fact out. I think the problem that we have here is there's too many chefs in the kitchen. Imagine this movie is a vanity project for a director, which he is inserting himself into. We have never seen this before. Never.
How we got here was Monday's Versus. Atomic Lori, shout out to our producer on Versus, Atomic Lori, suggested a news story about the Reddit rumor about super shit. And I thought, this is a dumb news story. It's not true. Let's not even talk about it. But we did anyways. You kind of go through the news. It's like, all right, we'll discuss it. But I thought this was, you DM me yesterday and ask, is that super shit true? I was so dumb with the monkeys and the hashtag super shit trending so Superman feels sad that I thought couldn't be real.
Yep.
I messaged the person who went to the Superman test screening and asked, is this real? The super shit hashtag. He says, I asked, is it in the movie? He says, yes. Even the monkeys, yes.
You know, the crazy thing about this is literally just yesterday we were talking about these rumors and everybody was like, that can't possibly be real. That is so absolutely just absurd and ridiculous. This has to be like somebody trolling. This has to be a joke.
Yeah, I honestly feel like most people were blowing these rumors off until Nerdrotic confirmed it. So Nerdrotic said, oh no, the hashtag super shit rumors in James Gunn Superman are true.
What I find amazing about this is even amongst like the Nerdrotic crew, they think he's joking.
Yeah.
Like people's first thought is like, no, this is a joke. Like, what a hilarious joke.
I thought it was a joke at first when I heard that James Gunn was going to direct this. But everything that I suspected him to do, he did. All of the Scooby-Doo garbage he put into this. DC is very different from Marvel. DC is a bit darker, more serious. Marvel is funny. I've never liked Marvel because the characters are constantly making jokes.
One of my biggest fears was just like, dude, like Gunn is not the right guy for Superman. Like he should have done Authority or something else. Like, dude, his sensibilities don't work for Superman. It's not a good fit.
Yeah, like is Nerdrotic trolling now too? Because Jeremy Prime said, for real? And Nerdrotic said, yes. And you guys, I can't make this up. Now, I personally assumed this was real because it just seems like something James Gunn would insert into his movie. But I was hoping it wasn't true.
I think a lot of people were just hoping that it wasn't true. And this is one of those things that it is not outside the realm of possibility. Like if you've watched James Gunn's stuff, you'll know that this is kind of par for the course with the type of humor and the type of self-insertion that he is known for.
And that's so true. Because it even goes on to say, if you watch Gunn's Creature Commandos, he did something similar by having Cersei's army be made up of incels. There's even a character officially named Incel Son. The male characters are simps, the cops are the bad guys, things of that nature. So Gunn including an army of troll monkeys is an obvious metaphor for what happened with him back in 2018 when Disney fired him over the conservatives discovering his tweets from 10 or so years ago.
Warner Brothers should have never hired James Gunn to direct such a big blockbuster movie. They should have never done that. And I really feel for David Cornsweet and most of the cast because these are very good actors. They're very, very good actors, and I really like Lois Lane and Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor, but all of that is just getting ruined now by a director. First of all, he doesn't know how to direct, and second of all, I just think that he is so narcissistic that he has to force feed himself into this movie.
Imagine how James Gunn feels. Well, one moment a few years ago, he's a PDF file, and he's at fucking rock bottom.
Allegedly.
He gets allegedly. He's
just saying.
Okay. Allegedly, YouTube. I'm starting to learn that. Then all of a sudden, rock bottom. Okay, gets hired on by DC, gets his Marvel movie back, and now he's the Kevin Feige of DC. So yeah, the internet does move very fast.
And now James Gunn has decided he's going to make a Superman movie all about his cancellation. I'm not going to dismiss this as a possible situation, but it's so dumb.
Yeah. I love that they will never tell you what the tweets were. And that kind of gives you a clue as to just how bad the tweets were, that even the people that defend Gunn do not want you to look into what he actually said.
Now, I'm sure you're thinking, okay, was it only Nerdrotic that confirmed these rumors? No. Because Josh from The Nerds also posted and said, the super shit rumor is real. And just when I had flipped and was excited about Superman.
I love the first comment on this.
Wait, bro. But please hear me out. Why does it still sound amazing, though? Like, you can't tell me that Lex wouldn't do some A1 hating like that?
Part of me feels like this isn't even a film anymore. It's just a loyalty test. See how much you will ignore the evidence of your eyes and ears. Because since the first news of James Gunn Superman came out and the first pictures of the suit came out, there's been so much cope. Like, people who clearly don't like the suit have convinced themselves that that's not what the suit's going to look like. And so we live in this weird timeline where I love everything I'm seeing because it's not going to be like it looks to my own eyes.
I personally feel like this is just a movie of, like, it's not even about Superman at this point. I feel like it's just about James Gunn. It's a self-insertion of James Gunn's life if he were Superman.
Well, he said that he didn't find Superman compelling, and then recently he found something he could connect to. If this is true, little do we know that it was like, wow, it's all about me.
I agree with you. It's terrible, and it doesn't need to be there. And it takes a story that should very well be timeless. You know, Dick Donner's Superman is a timeless movie. So those things are there, and that's what he chose to launch his DCU with.
Somebody pointed this out as well. They said that they don't understand why Batman can have all of these different versions, but Superman just has to have one. And that's where I'm at as well, because I'm like, come with something different. It's okay to show us something totally different, but then again, we just have to go back to the Christopher Reeve Superman for some reason. We're so married to that.
I've been on a little bit of a back and forth roller coaster ride with this movie. I thought a lot of the initial stuff that happened, both from just Gunn and also from the actual film, was terrible. The way he fired everybody. The first look at the suit. The first trailer. I didn't even like the first trailer. I was like, no. I thought the beginning part of the promotion for this movie and how Gunn has handled it and handled the press, handled the fans, I thought it was pretty stupid and silly.
Because there's obviously something weird going on in Warner Brothers. There's so many breadcrumbs that kind of lead you to this being the case. Like, when you hear them talk about it, they talk about hopeful, decent, and it kind of feels like James Gunn is reflecting on how he feels he was wronged with Marvel. And so he's writing in response to that. So the idea that this isn't some meta, essentially, clapback at the people that he felt wrongfully fired him,
Well, and on top of that, it feels like he's like slickly attacking the internet.
Oh, yeah.
People who have doubted him or commented on his work or the progress of his stuff. I feel like these are like direct hits at them, trying to call them out.
Oh yeah, like the number one complaint of James Gunn is that he spends way too much time on the internet, and he's way too concerned with responding to people in the comments. That he's less invested in making his own thing, and more invested in just fighting with people online. And so when you hear that he's actually potentially, I will just put that out there, allegedly making a whole movie about that, that's concerning. I think that this is like a major inflection point where people started out hopeful for Superman, and over time, each time you see something, I've just felt amongst our friends, the excitement just dwindle. And I think we're at the point where so many people are just saying, this can't possibly be the direction that Warner Bros. Is going. They can't possibly have brought James Gunn in to make the film that we are hearing that he's making. But when you've had everything else that's come out, all the little softball attacks that James Gunn swatted away on social media, it's very weird that he is very silent on this. It would cost him nothing to be like, of course, I'm not making a film about internet trolls with monkeys on typewriters. That's ridiculous. But if these rumors are in fact true, I think we can safely say it is going to piss people off.
Yes, because like our friend Derek Anderson said, for what it's worth, I don't believe the rumors. But if they are true, James Gunn is finished already.
I've always thought that he is garbage, and I think that most of the people on the internet are just literally stupid. There's a guy which is constantly commenting on my videos and saying like, I do not know what I'm talking about. Brother, if I do not know what I'm talking about, why is this growing? Why is this becoming a thing right now? I would understand if it was only me which was saying like, oh, this movie sucks and it's going to be garbage, and every single person was saying that this is going to be successful. Then I would understand that you actually have to attack me. But if you guys actually believe that this is going to be a successful movie, put your money where your mouth is. Let's do that. Why don't we place a bet on it and see? Because I'm willing to put at least 1,000 Swedish crowns on that this movie is going to flop. At least. It's not going to pass Man of Steel numbers. It's not. Man of Steel made, I think was what, 600 million. Let's say 660. It's not going to surpass that. That is not going to happen. It's not. I do not care how much garbage that James Gunn put in this movie to try to sell to kids. This movie is not going to do. It's not going to do Man of Steel numbers. That I am 100% sure of. The crazy part would have been if it actually surpasses Man of Steel. That's wild. But I'm putting it out there, and in a month, we're going to find out if I do not know what I'm talking about or if I'm a genius. So leave it in the comment section, guys. And remember one thing. No matter how much you guys want to hate on me, no matter what you guys write in the comment section, I would never block you. I wouldn't. I'm not a coward like that. But do not say that I'm bullying you if I respond. If you come with some heat and I come with some heat as well, I guess let's just leave it in the comment section. But guys, do not forget to, of course, like, comment, and share. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.